So here the title itself will let you understand what is the meaning of dried meat as well as the preserved meat. The term is very clear, but we have to understand what are the different techniques for preservation or drying of meat, as well as what are the benefits and disadvantages of that type of meat. So dried and preserved meat are meat products that have been treated to remove moisture and prevent spoilage. And that is the primary purpose of dried meat. If I will show you some pictures. So here you can see some dried meat here. And these kind of products are usually available where the possibility of getting fresh meat is always lesser. In such places, this dried meat becomes more popular. Here you can see some products. These are all dried meat. Okay. So dried and preserved meat are meat products that have been treated to remove moisture. Okay. So that is the one. So we have to remove the water from that, and preventing water will help in preventing spoilage, because water is the main substance that helps to retain bacteria and other microorganisms. If water is not present in the meat, bacteria cannot survive and there is no possibility of spoilage. So this is done through dehydration. Dehydration means removal of water, and that inhibits microbial growth as well as the activity of enzyme. Normally, any food item will be spoiled by two mechanisms. One, by the action of microorganism. Second, internal enzymes are there. In the cells, there will be enzymes. In the lysosomes of each cell, there will be enzymes. If these enzymes are released, they will also damage the product. So these are the two mechanisms. So when we are removing water, both these processes will not be taking place. So what are the common preservation methods here? You can see that air drying is there, smoking is there, freeze drying, and oven drying is there. So these are some of the various methods which are commonly used for this drying of the meat. So we will see how this air drying is actually conducted. So mainly using sun or air circulation, often done in low humidity and cool environment. See, these are the, so this kind of mechanism, just we are keeping, just like we put clothes on a rope or a line, we just hang these meat pieces on the open air, under the sun. So that will dry, that will remove the just like we are drying the fish. The same way we will be also drying. So that mechanism, that technique is known by the name air drying. Is a natural process using sun and air circulation. And second is smoking. Meat is exposed to smoke from burning wood. Adds flavor and antimicrobial property. Here also I will show you some picture. Smoking of meat. Advantages of smoking, here you can see that these are the techniques. At home also you can prepare smoking like this. In the last class I show you a small video. So how we can produce smoke inside our house. So these are the techniques of smoking. And advantage of smoking is that smoke contains a phenol. And because of the presence of phenol, it gives smoked meat a special taste. And second is that phenol is an antibacterial substance. So presence of phenol will prevent the activity of microorganisms. So that is the advantage of smoked meat. Meat is exposed smoke from burning wood, and that will be adding a special flavor. Flavor means taste and smell, and also antimicrobial property because of the presence of this phenol. Next technique is drying. Here you can see that moisture will be removed under low pressure. I will show you. See, these are all techniques of freeze drying. See, suddenly we will be converting the meat into small cubes. See, I will show you the definition of freeze drying. So basically in case of freeze drying, the machine will freeze the meat at extreme temperature and create a vacuum that pulls all moisture out of the heat. So that is sudden kind of cooling is known as the freeze drying. Here you can see that how the freeze drying is done. So these are the techniques of removing, and if you want to see, this is a dry food by lyophilizer. These are all machines for freeze drying. If there is any video, I will show you. See, here also you can find. See how they are doing the freeze drying process. You can see it here.
No matter the heat outside, stay cool inside.
Welcome. In this video, we're going to show
This is a very long video.
but I have a little bit of room that I'm going to try cooked shrimp.
See, this is
So
how they
everything
are
is
freeze
raw.
drying.
Floor, we'll pick that up in a minute. Bring this out to get it dry.
So this machine is the machine for freeze drying. You can see that.
And this time I'm going to have a little help.
Okay.
Valve, we'll do that. Drain valve is now closed and the water is empty in the catch bucket. So my guess wasn't too far off.
So here it is not very simple. See how she is doing it. See,
All
the
good.
machine will remove the moisture, create a vacuum, so it becomes
And then
like
we treat
an
it
ice
just like raw
cube.
meat.
So
Well, I just cut some strips
then
off
we
the
use
end
that.
so that I
So
can
this
have
is the
some
technique
pieces
of freeze
that
drying.
tech-
So in case of freeze drying, but the main idea is that moisture will be removed under low pressure. Then oven drying and dehydrator, that everybody knows. We have at home, many of you might have seen hot air oven. We just place the meat in a hot air oven and there will be high temperature, normally 80 degree, 100 degree or 150 degree. There are some ovens which can create a temperature up to 300 degree. So if you keep the meat in that, after some moments it will dry. All the moisture will be going. So commercial home dryer is there, and commercial type and home type are available. So these are the four different methods of preservation. Then what are the benefits or characteristics of this kind of dried meat? One is long shelf life. Shelf life means they can be kept in that situation for a very long period, maybe several months, sometimes years also. Lightweight. So if a normal meat is 1 kg, when we are drying and removing the moisture, that 1 kg meat may be only 300 or 400 grams. So the rest of it will be water. So weight will be less, and that is good for transportation and for military use also people will be. See, nowadays one person is going to space, one Indian is going, so, some Shukla or something. And what kind of food they are taking? They will be taking this kind of food, dried meat and other things, because they want everything to be very compact, very lightweight. So what they will be doing when they want to eat meat, they will take the dried meat and put it in water, keep it that way. After some time it will absorb moisture and may retain some of the taste and flavor of a natural meat. Then chewy or crispy texture depending on thickness and dry. So what kind of drying we will be using, that will be also affecting the characteristics of the meat. Then here there are number of examples: jerky, beef and turkey sliced thin dried with spices, that is jerky. Biltong, air dried and spiced beef, thicker than jerky. Then pemmican, I will show you some of this picture. Then charqui, so that you have some better idea. See, this is jerky. See, this is how the jerky will be appearing. Then biltong. See, this is another idea. See, this is known by the name biltong. Dry cured meat for beginners. Then that is present in South Africa. Then pemmican. Pemmican meat. In the case of pemmican meat, this is how it is. So it's all are dried meat somehow. Then charqui. This is in salted and sun-dried llama or alpaca meat. Meat taken from llama are plainly known by the name. So this is the charqui meat from Peru. So Peru is the area where these llama are common. So these are the type of meat which are available in different categories. Then what are the benefits? One is that here there is no refrigeration is needed. That is, it's an ancient type of preservation. Now in ancient time, from Kerala, people will be taking this pepper. What was the main use of pepper is that in Europe that time refrigerators were not invented. During colder time they can easily preserve it. But one purpose of this pepper was actually a preservative material. In order to preserve materials like meat, etc., they were using this pepper. So that was why pepper was in a huge demand during the ancient time. That was why Arab people came here, and that all finally lead to colonization of India. So, though no refrigeration is needed, it is a lightweight and compact. As I told you, the weight will be greatly reduced by drying process. Then meat is a rich source of protein. That also is an advantage. Then drawbacks is that when we are using this kind of, there can be sometimes salt will be used. So high sodium content will be there. And texture may not be suitable for all preference or for all people, because eating a dried meat may be just like eating some dried chips or other thing. If it is just like you are eating a dried tapioca or something, that texture will be slightly different. It all depends on the way you are preparing it. So another type of meat is known as a cured meat. So cured meat refers to meat that has been preserved, flavored through application of salt, nitrate, sugar, and sometimes smoking. So that is known as cured meat. Curing inhibits bacterial growth, especially the Clostridium botulinum, and imparts a characteristic flavor and color. So that is why, that is a peculiarity. So here what are the things that we are applying? We may be applying salt, we may be applying nitrite. Nitrite is also a kind of salt. Then sugar will be applied. So, and sometimes smoking will be done. So all this process will be giving the meat a special taste and flavor. So that is a peculiarity of cured meat. So here there are different types of curing techniques: dry curing, wet curing, and injection curing. We will see in case of dry curing, rubbing meat with the curing salt and spices, common for salami, prosciutto. These are some examples. We will see how it is appearing. See, this is all example of dry curing of meat. So how they are, see, This can, if you go to European countries, you can even for breakfast, sometimes you can see this kind of dried meat. This I have seen it in many countries. This kind of meat. So dried meat is a one prepared by applying salt and spices. Then wet curing, soaking meat in a salt water solution, used for hams. Hams means pig and corned beef. These are two items. Wet curing meat. See, in case of wet curing meat, we will be simply putting it in some salt solution. See, these are techniques of this wet curing. See, so this is also here. What we are doing is just like we put mango in a salt water. They are actually putting this meat in a salt water. So here also you can see that. So these are all techniques for wet curing of beef. Then another is injection curing. Brine injected directly into the meat speeds up the curing process for commercial production. See here, this is how they are actually. We will be injecting some brine solution into the meat, so that see here also you can see how they are applying this dust injection syringe for cooking. So this is the technique for injection curing. See how they are doing it. So in case of injection curing, brine means salt solution, will be injected directly into the meat. So instead of absorbing it from outer side, the salt will be present in the inner tissues at a faster rate. So that is the advantage of injection curing, simply a kind of salt curing itself. Then what are the main materials which we are using? One is salt. Salt can be used. One advantage is that salt will be always taking moisture. Salt has the capacity to absorb moisture, so it prevents spoilage. Then second one is sugar. Sugar is also helping in creating a special flavor and also helps in aiding in fermentation. Then nitrate and nitrate preserve color, inhibit bacterial growth. That is another kind of salt. Then spices, pepper, garlic, paprika, fennel. Now I will show you how. See, here you can see that this is how they are methods of preserving meat. This was the ancient type of preserving meat. They will be using pepper. So pepper will be applied on the meat, so that will keep the meat fresh for a long period of time. So that was because it was mainly for collecting this pepper Europeans and Arab people came to India. See here you can see that pepper was an important substance used for meat. Then garlic, paprika, fennel. Fennel means I think I couldn't get the Malayalam name. I'll show you how that fennel will be appearing. Fennel, Perinjeeragam or something like that. So this is the fennel. This is known as the fennel. See, this is the fennel. Jeeragam or Perinjeeragam type items is known as the fennel. So this is different substance ingredients which are used for curing. Then here also different type of curing, prosciutto. We'll see how it appears, prosciutto. It's a kind of meat. See, this is also available in many supermarket. You can see the inside their fridge. These kind of material, thin slices of meat are available. We can take, and it may be containing some salt also. So we can just keep it between bread and we can bake it and we can eat it. So this kind of food is available. It is mainly dry cured ham, basically pig, aged for months. Then salami. Salami is another material. Salami, this is how the salami products are there. Okay. Then another is pastrami. Pastrami. We will see what's pastrami. This is the pastrami. This is how the pastrami will be appearing. Then bacon. Bacon, everybody knows how bacon is here. Smoked. This is the bacon. See, this is known as the bacon. Bacon, cured pork belly, often smoked. Corned beef. Brined beef brisket. Corned beef. It will be containing some, see, this is known as a corned beef. So I think corned beef, in case of corned beef, is called salted beef. That is basic corned beef. Sometimes when you go to European countries, in the refrigerator you can see corned beef. If you don't know what is corned beef, it's basically salt cured beef. That is known as a meat with large grained rock salt, called corns of salt. That is why it is known as a corned beef. So simply salted beef. Then serrano ham. Serrano ham is another material. See, this is known as a serrano ham, just like earlier we have also seen. So this is the thin slices of pig meat. This is known as a serrano ham. So these kind of different items are available. So these are some examples of dried meat, cured meat. Then what are the health considerations? If you go to the health wise, since we are applying salt, we have to be careful about salt, because salt has a problem of increasing your blood pressure. Because more salt in your body means more water in your body, then more water in your blood vessel and in your blood, and that will increase your blood pressure. So that is why when you are having a blood pressure problem or any illness due to blood pressure, you must reduce the amount of salt intake. So salt is an important problem. Then nitrate and nitrate are controversial. May form nitrosamines. They can be potential carcinogen, cancer-causing substance, and during high heat cooking. So that is one problem of that. Some cured meats are fermented, which can offer probiotic. Probiotic means that can increase the growth of beneficial bacteria in your intestine and stomach. Such substances are known as a probiotic. So here there is a comparison. What are the preservation method for meat? It is dry dehydration, and for a cured meat we will be either using salt, nitrate or sugar, or sometimes smoke. And how moisture, depending on the amount of moisture, dried meat will be having a very low amount of moisture. But in a cured meat, the moisture is still reduced, but it is not always fully dry. Examples are given. And shelf life, it is a very long shelf life for dried meat, especially in case of cured meat also. If we are keeping in a fridge, it can be longer. Then in the case of texture, dried meat will be always very dry, almost like a wooden piece. Then ranges from, in case of cured meat, it can be soft or harder. Then in case of dried meat, smoky, meaty. Then cured meat has a salty spice, because in case of cured meat, we are applying too much salt. So the taste of salt will be always there. But in dried meat, application of salt is limited. So it is mainly a smoked meat most of the time. So this is an idea about different type of curing techniques of meat, drying techniques of meat, and what are the benefits of dried meat also.